To do now a poem that I first found. Some people had sent us an orange packet of fancy fruit, and one of the wrappers had a poem on it called The Passing of the Outhouse. And I thought, I've got to learn that poem. I was pretty young, but I've learned it and used it for years and years. When memory keeps me company and moves the smiles and tears, a weather-beaten object looms through the mist of years. Behind the house and barn it stood half a mile or more, and hurrying feet a path had made straight to that swinging door. And oft a passing traveler drove slow to heave a sigh to see our modest hired girl slip out with glances shy. We had our posy garden. The women loved it well. I loved it too. But better still, I loved the stronger smell that filled the evening breezes, so full of homey cheer, and told the night o'ertaken tramp that human life was near. All day fat spiders spun their webs to catch the buzzing flies that flitted to and from the house where Ma was making pies. And once a nest of hornets bold built their palace there and stung my unsuspecting aunt, I must not tell you where. Then Father took a flaming pole. That was a happy day. He nearly burned the building down, but the hornets left to stay. On lazy August afternoons it made a little bower where my grandsire whiled away an hour. It was not the nicest spot that anyone could find, but the berry bushes reddened in that steaming soil behind. When summer bloom began to fade and winter to carouse, we banked the little building up with heaps of hemlock boughs. And when the crust was on the snow and sullen skies were gray, in sooth that building was no place where one could wish to stay. We did our duties promptly. One purpose swayed the mind, to tarry not nor linger long on what was left behind. The torture of that icy seat would make a Spartan sob, and deeds that scraped the goose flesh with a lacerating cob, which from a frost-encrusted nail suspended by a string. My father was a frugal man. We wasted not a thing. When Grandpa had to go out back and make his morning call, we bundled up the dear old man in a muffler and a shawl. I knew the hole on which he sat, 'twas padded all around. And once I dared to sit there, 'twas all too wide, I found. I jackknifed there to stay, and they had to come and get me out, or I'd have passed away. Then Father said, ambition is a thing that boys must shun, and I should use the children's hole till childhood days were done. I'll always marvel at the craft made those holes so true. The baby hole, the slender hole, it fitted Sister Sue. But now I've grown to manhood, and I've traveled round a bit. Still in the lap of luxury, my lot has been to sit. And ere I die, I'll eat the fruit from trees I robbed of yore, then seek the shanty where my name is carved upon the door. I ween the old familiar smell. In sooth, my fated soul. I'm now a man, but nonetheless, I use the children's hole. There is a package of circular candy, about 3 inches high and about as big as a nickel, and the candy inside has a hole in it. It's built just like a lifesaver you'd throw out to someone in the water. It had the slogan that I think should be the title to the poem about the outhouse. If it hasn't a hole, it isn't a lifesaver.